Okay, welcome back everyone. So today we are going to continue our series Master Your Emotions. So far we have covered why this book we are choosing and what exactly is in this book and how it is going to be helpful to us. And except that we have already covered what emotions are, what impacts our emotions, and today we are going to start from third part of this book, which is how to change your emotions. Okay, now why exactly you need to you know watch this video, or why exactly you need to be here to understand your emotions, especially in trading. If you want to become a successful, consistent, profitable trader, then you need to have a great hold on your emotions. And to have a great hold on your emotion, you need to understand them first, right? So that's why we are covering this book, to understand our emotions better, so that we can maneuver it to our liking and get the required result. Okay, and in case if you are not into stock market and trading, then also in general life, if you have better hold on emotions, it is going to be helpful for you in each and every step of your life, in each and every aspect of your life as well. Okay, so let's begin. Now today we are going to understand how to change your emotions. So far we have already covered that what emotions are, what impacts our emotion, and how to change your emotion is something that we are going to start today. Okay, let's begin. So first of all, we'll start with a quote by Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. So the quote itself says, "The mind always seeks to deny the new and to escape from it. In other words, the more you are identified with your mind, the more you suffer, or you may put it like this: the more you are able to honor and accept the now, the more you are free of pain, of suffering, and free of egoic mind." Okay, this is very, very important. I hope this sets the tone of our today's session as well. Okay, like today's video basically. All right, so just give me 1 second. Let me take a quick note of it. Okay, further, let's go further. Okay. Now, in this section, we'll explore how you can deal with negative emotions and condition your mind to experience more positive ones. First, we'll discuss how emotions are formed. Then, we'll discuss the benefits of positive thinking and how to use it to condition your mind. After that, we'll see why positive thinking isn't enough and what else you can do to deal with negative emotions. More specifically, you'll learn how to let go of your emotions, how to change your story and create a more empowering one, how to condition your mind, how to use your behavior to change your emotions, and how to modify your environment to reduce negative emotions. Finally, I'll share with you a list of short term and long term strategies you can use to better deal with negative emotions. Let's get started. So, the first one is how emotions are formed. Okay, when a thought emerges on the canvas of your mind, if you don't drop it, its pursuit will either take the form of a desire or an emotion, positive or negative. Okay, so basically we know throughout the day there are a lot, like a very big number of thoughts passes through our mind. If we'll cater each and every thought, and most of the time they are not as useful to us as it should be, right? So some thoughts are, I can say that they are destructive in nature as well. So we need to drop it very well, very quickly. Okay, like don't put your energy into the thought which you feel is destructive in nature or which consists of negative energy. All right, which can lead to any negative sentiments. Okay. Now, few people know how emotions are formed. While we experience them all day long, we seldom, if ever, take time to understand why we are feeling certain emotions and how they come into existence. First, let's differentiate two types of negative emotions. The first type are the negative emotions you experience spontaneously. These are the emotions that keep you alive, such as the fear of ancestors felt when they encountered a saber-toothed tiger. The second type of negative emotions are the ones you create in your mind by identifying with your thoughts. These emotions aren't necessarily triggered by external events, although they may be. These emotions tend to last longer than the first type. Here is how they work. Very important. Like most of the time, the fear is in our mind, right? It is not present in the external environment. We're thinking about some future, what I can say, future possibility or something that happened in the past, and we are just holding it, and we are giving it a lot of energy, and it is making us feel like not good or in negative. energy, like more in the negative energy. All right. Now, how exactly it works? Let's deep dive into it. A random thought arises. You identify with that thought. That means you put your energy into that thought. This identification creates an emotional reaction. As you keep identifying with that thought, the related emotions grow stronger until it becomes a core emotion. Okay, let's look at some example. Let's look at some example to get better hold of it. You have money problems, and each time your mind comes up with money related thoughts, you identify with them. As a result, you worry about money intensifies. Your worries about money intensifies. Okay, you had an argument with your friend and fell out with him. You can't stop replaying the scene in your mind. As a result, months have passed and you still haven't called to make up with your friend. You made a mistake at work and are ashamed of yourself. You keep revisiting the same thought over and over. As a result, your feelings of inadequacy grow stronger. Your tendency to identify with negative thoughts repeatedly is what allows them to grow stronger. The more you focus on your financial challenges, the easier it will be for related thoughts to arise in the future. The more you replay the argument with your friend in your head, the stronger the feelings of resentment will grow. Making sense, right? I can relate to most of them. Similarly, as you keep thinking of the mistake you made at work, you invite feelings of shame and intensify the situation. The point is, when you give thoughts room to exist, they spread and become major point of focus. Right? Just give me 1 second. Let me take a quick note of it. Hmm. So basically, the key here is the point when you give thoughts room to exist, they spread and become major point of focus. That means now it in your focus, that means you're putting your energy into it. If these are the right thoughts or they are the thoughts that are aligned in the way you want to achieve things, then it's great. If not, then it is going to be a very big problem. Okay, this simple process of identification allows seemingly inoffensive thoughts to take control of your mind. These identification with your thoughts, and more importantly, how you choose to interpret them, creates suffering in your life. Very much relatable. Okay, now let's see in more detail how your emotions are formed. This will help you better deal with negative emotions while allowing positive emotions to grow. Here is a formula to explain how emotions form. Interpretation plus identification plus repetition will tend to a strong emotion. Okay, now let's understand each term individually. First of all, we'll talk about interpretation, right? So what exactly we know about interpretation? Just give me 1 sec. Hmm. Okay, I'm making a PPT also, a running notes kind of PPT in between, so that's why there is little pause that I'm taking in between. I hope you all, sorry for the inconvenience caused. Basically, all will forgive me for the same. Okay, interpretation. First of all, what exactly interpretation is? It is when you interpret an event or a thought based on your personal story. Again, emphasis over here is on your personal story, right? Identification is when you identify with a specific thought as it arises. Repetition is having the same thoughts over and over again. Strong emotion is when you experience an emotion so many times it has become a part of your identity. You then experience that emotion whenever a related thought or event trigger it. Making sense? Is there anything that is coming to your mind that happened to you guys recently and you can relate to these things? If yes, then you know how to work out of it. Okay, let's understand it better. Altogether, interpretation, identification, and repetition give room for the emotions to grow. Conversely, wherever you remove one of these elements from the equation, these emotions start losing their power over you. So, all you have to do is break the chain, which starts with interpretation. That means you are adding your personal story to the event, whatever the event is, or whatever the thought comes. Okay, then after interpretation, there is this identification, then repetition, and it will turn into strong emotion. So if we'll break this chain, if we'll take any of the component out, then it will not hold the power as it should be holding, right? That means you can control your negative thoughts directly. That's what author is trying to convey over here. Similarly, If there is something that you want to have a strong emotion into, then all you have to do is follow the sequence chronologically and you're good to go. Okay, it requires little bit of steps here and there, and let's understand more about it so that we can get better hold on it. Okay, to sum up, for an emotion to grow in intensity and duration, you must first interpret an event or a thought, then you must identify with that thought as it arises. Finally, you must repeat the same thought again and again and identify with it. Now let's discuss in more depth each component of the formula. Okay, let's we understood the basic definition, now we are understanding it in deeper context. Interpretation plus identification plus repetition is equals to strong emotion. That's the basic formula that we have. Negative emotions always result from your interpretation of events. That's why two different people might react to the same event in different ways. One might be devastated while the other might be unaffected, right? So same event can have completely different reaction to the same event by two different people. One can feel devastated and one can feel unaffected as well. For instance, for a farmer, rain could be blessing, but for someone going on a picnic, it would be seen as a curse because there in their story, the rain is good for farmer. It is good, so that means it is generating a positive feeling for the farmer. But similarly, if someone is going out for a picnic and it starts raining, then he will feel bad about it, right? So that's because the meaning they give to the event for both, like for the person who is going to the picnic and the person who is a farmer by profession, or like farmer in general. So then they both have a different meaning to the same phenomena, that is rain over here. Okay, that's because of the meaning they give to the event. In short, for negative emotions to arise, you must add your interpretation to a specific event. Very important. All right. Okay, just let me add. Okay. Hmm. Let me just take a note of it quickly and then we'll go further ahead. Okay. Now, the event in itself cannot trigger negative emotions without your consent. Now, this part is very, very, very important, right? Until and unless you will not give it your consent, that means you will not put energy into it directly. It has no power. So why do we keep experiencing negative emotions? I believe it's because reality fails to meet your expectations. You want reality to be the one way, but it turns out to be another. You go on a picnic and want the weather to be good, but it rains. You want a promotion at work, but you don't get it. You want to make money with your side business, but it's not working. Your interpretation of reality creates suffering in your life. Reality in itself can never be upsetting. This is worth repeating. We'll discuss it in depth now. Depth how you can change your interpretation in the next section entitled Changing Your Story. Now, moving on to the next part, that is identification. So, interpretation part is done. Now, we are coming to the next part, which is identification. Now let's focus on the second part of the formula, identification. For an emotion to survive long term, there must be a process of identification. Emotions cannot persist unless you give them your attention. The more you focus on your emotion and identify with them, the more powerful they become. Right? So that means you are the one who is giving it the power to have some impact in your life. Now, if you are giving the right thoughts this power, that will bloom your life in a positive sense. But if you're giving it in the wrong way, then again, negative things can attract towards you as well. Okay, people often feel the urge to identify with their emotions and find themselves unable to disengage from them. They fail to realize one of the most important truths in the world: you are not your emotions. I want to, like the author also emphasized over here, and I also want to emphasize on this very statement: you are not your emotions. Your emotions will come and they will go. It's you who is deciding to give the power to a particular emotion or sentiment or whatever you want to call it, right? Until unless you're not giving it the power, they are just like in a flow. They are just emotion. They are just, coming and going and will not have impact on you. So when you catch yourself saying, I'm sad, remember you are incorrect. Nobody has ever been sad because your emotions are not who you are. They can appear to be you, but they will soon disappear like clouds in the sky. Think of yourself as the sun, and the sun is always where, whether or not you perceive it, whether or not it's hidden by the cloud. You're not your emotions. You are not sad. You merely experience feelings that you may call sadness at a given point in time. This is an important point. I hope you can see the difference. Another way to see your emotions is as the clothes you wear. What emotional clothes are you wearing right now? Are the clothes of excitement, depression, sadness? Bear in mind, tomorrow or a week from now, you'll likely be wearing different clothes. That means you can have different emotions altogether, which is in complete contrast, or like in complete opposite sense to your current emotions. How long you wear your clothes, your emotions depend on how much you love them. Therefore, how much you are attracted to your emotions. An emotion in itself is powerless. What gives it power is your conscious or unconscious identification with it. That's why an emotion give no attention will eventually fade away. Try the following exercise. Whenever you are angry, whenever you are angry, get busy with an activity requiring your full attention. You'll see your anger quickly dissipate. Conversely, keep dwelling on the feelings of anger and you'll see it grow until it becomes one of your major emotional states. Been there, done that. Especially in trading environment, you can come across these kind of situation. So how you have to cater it? Just have an activity in your mind which requires a complete attention. And whenever you are feeling angry, just deviate your thoughts in those direction. Okay, repetition. Now, repetition is something that we are going to discuss now. We already covered interpretation, identification. Now, third part, repetition. We have seen that the way you interpret an event or a thought determines how you feel. We also know that as you identify with your thoughts of or feelings. See, I hope some of you have been to SSBs or AFSBs. That is like the ongoing 5 day procedure for, like, it is a selection procedure to become an officer in the armed forces, be it like Navy, Air Force, or Indian Army, right? So in that procedure also there is this one procedure, one test, you can say it like that, which is known as PPDT, like picture perception and display test. So what they do is they will simply show you a blurry picture, and everyone, they will give you some time to create a story around it. If you have been through this process now, like it will be a little bit nostalgic to you, but for others, you can understand there is a blurry picture shown in front of a lot of candidates, and they interpret it in their own way, and then they write a story around it. Now, even though the same picture is displayed to everyone, the story made around it is completely different. Most of the time it is completely different. Like there might be some commonality between different stories, but it is not exactly same, even though the picture was exactly same shown to everyone else, right? So what I'm trying to say by giving this example is the same external environment can affect different individual in different way, because they're interpreting it in different manner, they are identifying it in different manner, right? They're putting a different kind of emotion to it. So that's how it works, right? So that's how having a better hold on your emotion is very important, because if you really want to change the external environment around you, all you have to do is change your internal environment. In the market also, in the trading environment as well, the market, the chart, the candle, the indicator, all they are doing is they're just giving you neutral information. It is you who is putting some like value to it. It is you who is putting some interpretation to it. It is you who's putting some energy to it, and then you're getting, if you're getting required result or desired result, you're feeling euphoric about it. If not, you're feeling sad about it. But if you'll see the very beginning of it, you'll find out it's you who gave it the power. Like the neutral information was present around you, you gave the power. So if everything is in our hands, so we need to have a better hold on our emotions so that we can give the right power to right uh, events happening around us, or right emotions. We can give more power so that we can get the desired result in our life and trading also, right? Now, we have seen that the way you interpret an event or a thought determines how you feel. We also know that as you identify with your thoughts or feelings, they become emotions. Now, if you keep repeating that process, you will condition your mind to experience these specific emotions, positive or negative. For instance, if you focus your attention on what you believe, your friend did to you, feelings of resentment will grow. As a result, you could hold a grudge for months. People often do this. Been there, done that, guilty. They waste time holding on to negative emotions that serve no purpose just because they can't let go of them. Conversely, if you disengage from your thoughts of resentment and simply observe them, over time they will lose power and associated resentment will fade away. In fact, if you had let go of the thought of resentment immediately after it arose, the feeling of resentment would have dissipated almost instantly. We'll see how you can let go of your emotions in the section letting go of your emotions. Okay, now these are some action steps. Resist negative emotions from the okay, it is based on the what I can say, the workbook. If you need the workbook, let me know, I'll put it in comment. Now I'm leaving you all with a question, like multiple questions over here, which is interpretations. What events happened and what thoughts arose? Okay, identification, how did you respond to these thoughts? And repetition, did you identify with these thoughts repeatedly? Okay, so whenever any event occur, give them this question, like ask yourself these questions. Okay, so yeah, this is general idea about identification, interpretation and repetition. All right, so today we will cover till this point only, and from tomorrow onwards we'll understand how can we change our interpretation. Okay, so if I'll simply summarize what we learned today, we understood about how can we, okay, how can we change our emotions, in which we understand how exactly emotion arise. First of all, there is interpretation plus identification plus repetition, then it will convert into strong emotion, right? Now this is something that like repeat it again and again and make it part of your brain, a part of your mental system, so that it will get better hold of the fact that how the emotions are getting generated. Okay, so I hope this was helpful to you. In case if you missed any of the sessions, or in case if you missed any of the uh, previous parts, please go through them to have a better hold on it, like better understanding as well. Okay, so thank you so much everyone. If there is anything that you want to ask or any piece of advice that you want to give, then comment box is there. And have fun, have a great life ahead. We'll meet next time. Till then, stay healthy, stay safe. Okay, peace out. All right, thank you so much universe, thank you so much Radharanji.